Welcome to Fractured Chaos.
You ever fund your boyfriend's mental health journey just to find out you were paying for him to get tied up and spanked by a woman named Crystal in a downtown loft? Yeah, that was my Tuesday. My name's Tracy, 29. Apartment's cute, dog's cuter, and I've got a master's degree in making broken men feel whole. Mason was no exception. We met at a brunch spot where he was ranting to a server about oat milk being part of a conspiracy. I should have known, but the dimples had me in a chokehold. 3 months in, he gets fired from his job. Something about disruptive energy in the workplace. He says corporate wasn't ready for radical authenticity. Translation, he called his boss a fascist on Slack. Mason spirals, stops showering, starts journaling exclusively in haikus. One day, he just says, "I think I need therapy." My dumb, empathetic self goes, "I'll help." I Venmo him $1,200 for a few sessions to get started. He kisses my forehead and says, "You're saving my life." What he didn't say was, "You're funding my pleasure palace." That same night, I get a text meant for someone else. Just 2 words, "Bring rope." At first, I tell myself it's a misunderstanding. I mean, there's ropes in therapy, right? Nope. The next day, I open his laptop while he's in the shower. Bad idea. But curiosity is louder than morals. His Chrome tabs are open like sins. One of them's a booking site for Goddess Crystal, tantric healer, and soul alchemist. She's got a glowing Yelp review that literally says, "Came for the inner peace, stayed for the happy ending." I check his Cash App, payments labeled, emotional clearing, voice kundalini surge, trauma drainage. One payment had a memo, for what my ex couldn't fix. I was the ex, while he was literally inside me. I create a fake profile, book a consultation with Crystal. She sends me an auto reply that ends with, "If you're not ready to surrender, you're not ready to heal." I reply, "Oh, I'm ready." She responds with a photo of her in lingerie, and in the mirror behind her, Mason's hoodie hanging on a chair. I play it cool, don't scream, don't throw things. I wait. That night, Mason comes over with Thai food and a fake smile. I say, "How is therapy?" He says, "Transformative." I cried into a salt lamp. I show him the photo, silence, then gaslight mode, activated. "You don't respect my boundaries. Healing looks different for everyone." "Sir, that's not healing. That's horny cosplay with incense." He whispers, "Crystal sees the parts of me you can't handle." The man talks like a cult leader with a podcast. I text Crystal from the fake account. "My boyfriend goes to you. I want the truth." She leaves me on red. Until 3 a.m., I get a DM. It says, "You're not the first. You won't be the last." Next day, I get a follow from a girl named Brittany. Blonde, hot, looks like she drinks green juice and judges you for eating gluten. I stalk her. Her last post, a couple's pic with Mason. Caption, "My safe space." I comment, "He's really good at making women feel unsafe too." She DMs me instantly. "Who are you?" We get on FaceTime. Turns out, she's been dating him longer than I have. He told her I was his mentally unstable cousin he was helping through a breakup. She says, "He always told me his ex broke him with cherries, but I saw a bowl of them in his fridge last week." The cherry thing? He told me he was allergic. Brittany and I meet up. We make a list of every lie, every dollar, every photo, every excuse. And then we call his mom. Mason's mom is sweet, soft voice, wears cardigans. She hears everything, sighs, and says, "Oh, honey, I always told him, karma's not a myth. It's an invoice." 3 hours later, Mason shows up at my apartment, crying, again, holding flowers and a literal rope. He says, "Let me explain." I let him in, sit him on the couch, and I press record on my phone, just in case. He starts with, "Crystal and I aren't what you think. It's deeper than sex." Deeper than sex? Try a pyramid scheme for broken men with mother issues. He says, "She said I'm not the only one she's preparing for the ritual." The hell does that mean? I ask Brittany to come over. We sit across from him, both of us holding itemized receipts of our emotional labor. He says, "You both were part of my journey. I was learning how to receive love." I say, "You were learning how to scam with a straight face." Then my phone pings. A DM from Crystal. One line, "You don't know what you've started, but it's already too late." Brittany reads the message over my shoulder and goes, "Too late for what?" I zoom in on Crystal's profile pic. It's been changed. Now it's a cherry, bleeding, with a bite out of it. Then Mason's phone buzzes. He looks at the screen, freezes, drops it, runs to the bathroom. I pick it up, one unread message, from a name I don't recognize. I open it. It says, You think Crystal was the last? You've only peeled one layer. And that's when I realized this wasn't about cheating. It was something much bigger. And I was already in too deep. The message on Mason's phone just said, "You think Crystal was the last? You've only peeled one layer." And just like that, my dumb little breakup saga turned into a full-blown Netflix docuseries. Only this one, I was the main character, and I wasn't ready. Mason locked himself in the bathroom, blasting Enya and dry heaving over the sink. Me and Brittany sitting on my couch trying to decode this cryptic cherry cult energy like we're in some suburban Da Vinci Code. I texted the mystery number, "Who is this?" They reply instantly, "Someone who thought they could save him too." Brittany gasps, "It's another ex." I squint, "Or a survivor. Either way, we're starting a group chat." The next message, "Check her website, but don't go through the homepage." I type in Crystal's website, then I add rituals at the end, just for fun. Boom, hidden page. No prices, no healing sessions, just a black screen with a spinning cherry and the words, "The devoted await the harvest." Brittany whispers, "What the hell is the harvest?" The site logs me out. My screen goes black. Then a message pops up. "You are not ready." Okay, so let's recap. Mason's in the bathroom having a breakdown. Brittany and I just stumbled on what might be a sex cult with branding. I'm out $1,200. And the only thing making sense right now is that my dog is the only male I can trust. We gather every bit of info we have, dates, receipts, screenshots. We make a timeline, and patterns start to form. Every girl Mason's been with, same story. Gave him money. He got help, entered Crystal's world, left broken and confused. It wasn't therapy, it was recruitment. In one of the Venmo notes, Cherry Friday. We Google it. Turns out it's the name of a real event. A private healing retreat hosted once a month for select energies only. Next one's tomorrow night. Address, hidden behind a paywall. We pay it. Address is a mansion in the hills, not even shady. Like luxury Airbnb meets a cult Pinterest board. We dress in all white, blend in, act like we belong. The inside smells like Palo Santo and narcissism. Everyone's whispering about transcendence and erotic energy portals. Then we see her, Crystal, in the flesh. Lace robe, cherry earrings. She makes eye contact with Mason, who's now beside us again like we're not 2 seconds from exposing his spiritual pyramid scheme. She smiles, motions to him. "Are you ready for your offering?" Mason turns to me, eyes wide, and says, "Tracy, please don't let them take me upstairs." Now I'm panicking, not because I'm scared, but because I'm excited. This man manipulated me, lied to me, used me, and now he's the nervous one. The karma buffet is open and I am starving. Crystal says, "He chose this path. We merely unlock it." Brittany grabs my hand. "Should we leave?" I say, "No, we finish it." I step forward. I say, "I'm his emotional sponsor. If he's ascending, I want to watch." Crystal tilts her head. "Then come." We walk upstairs into a dimly lit room with velvet cushions and a cherry pie on a pedestal. "No, I'm not joking." Crystal says, "To heal the past, one must taste what they once feared." Mason whispers to me, "She told me if I didn't complete the cherry ritual, she'd tell every woman I ever dated what I really did to them." Now my brain is screaming. What did he mean? I pull him aside and demand answers. Turns out, Mason's not just a scammer. He's been cycling through women like emotional ATMs, not just dating. He convinced 2 exes to take out loans for his spiritual startup, told another one he had cancer to get free rent, used a fake therapist website to funnel money. He even trademarked Harvest Coaching LLC under Crystal's name. It was never about healing. It was a business. I record the whole confession, right there. Audio, screenshots, everything. Brittany's crying, I'm shaking. And Crystal, standing silently behind us. She says, "We don't punish here, we transmute. But if you leave with that information, the world might punish you instead." We walk out. I upload the audio, leak it to every ex I could find. Podcast episode 2 drops that night. Cherry Pie and Lies, The Cult of Manipulation. Mason disappears. Off-grid. Crystal deletes her page. But the damage is done. The internet's on fire. Hashtag Cherry Therapy is trending. 2 exes launch a lawsuit. Weeks later, I get a letter in the mail. No return address. Inside, 1 photo. It's a cherry, in a hand, and on the back, written in tiny red ink, "You think you finished the story, but some offerings never rot. See, I hung it on my fridge. Because if they're watching me, I want them to know I'm watching back. But the worst part? I wasn't scared. I was curious. So I did what any rational woman would do in a post-trauma, post-breakup, post-cult stalking spiral. I went to Reddit, posted anonymously in a support forum. Anyone know what the cherry ritual is? Replies started coming in like floodgates bursting open. I dated a guy who said he was energetically sealed after something called a cherry cleanse. My ex disappeared for a weekend, came back with a rope burn and a cherry tattoo. I lost $3,000 to a woman named Crystal, who said she could clear karmic debt through fruit. This wasn't just Mason. One comment said, "Check the retreat list. Look for the initials, TLS." That's when I realized this wasn't some fringe freak show. This was organized. I went deep. And by deep, I mean I skipped work for 3 days and developed caffeine-induced tremors. Turns out, Crystal and her little cherry brand had been running retreats under different names in 5 states. Her LLCs changed constantly. One was literally called Transcendent Love Systems. TLS. I found a PDF buried in cached pages, a sacred agreement signed by each member. Guess who was on the list? Mason. And me. He'd forged my name. Now I'm pissed. Not just ex-girlfriend pissed. Righteous fury with receipts pissed. I go full petty psychotic. Step 1, lawyer up. Step 2, reach out to every woman who commented on my Reddit post. Step 3, build a timeline, a witness list, a pattern of financial and psychological abuse. Step 4, leak it anonymously to 3 podcast hosts, 1 reporter, and a girl I went to high school with who works at BuzzFeed. We launch a group class action filing. The headline reads, "Modern-day sex cult hidden behind spiritual coaching. Victims seek justice." Crystal goes dark. Mason resurfaces with a YouTube video titled, "The Truth About the Ritual, My Journey," where he cries shirtless in front of a burning sage stick. Comments are turned off. Weeks go by. Silence. Then one night, I get an email. No subject line. Just an address, date, time. Attached, a photo. It's me, walking my dog, from behind. Brittany begs me not to go, but I do. Because if this is the end of the story, I want to write the last damn page. I show up. Parking lot, abandoned yoga studio. Inside, candles, cushions, and Crystal, alone. She smiles like I'm an overdue appointment. She says, "This was never about Mason. He was just a tool." I say, "Yeah, he was." She walks me to a wall covered in sticky notes, photos, red yarn, the kind of display you only see in conspiracy documentaries and toxic friendships. At the center, a cherry, and right under it, my name. "Tracy," Crystal whispers, "you weren't a target. You were a prototype." I hit record on my phone. Crystal keeps talking too much. About her plan, the recruiting, the manipulation, the money, the fake rituals, the real ones, the way she chooses emotionally generous women and weaponizes their empathy. She tells me I'm powerful, that I could lead the next wave. I smile and say, actually, I already did, because the entire studio, wired for sound. Outside, 2 reporters, 1 former cult victim turned investigator, and a BuzzFeed girl with a vengeance. The next morning, headlines drop. Cult leader caught in sting, orchestrated by ex-victim. Healing gone horribly wrong. Cherry bomb, the Tracy takedown. It's been 3 months. Crystal's being sued by 11 women. Mason moved to Arizona to rebuild spiritually, which I assume means hide. Brittany and I started a podcast called Trauma But Make It Funny. It's top 20 on Spotify. And me, I'm healing. Really healing. Not rope and fruit healing. Just regular therapy, boundary setting, and blocking men who say vibe too much. The cherry's still on my fridge, not as a warning, as a trophy, because some offerings do rot. But me, I learned how to bloom.